How's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 with a quick update about a little bit of news today breaking from Tyneside with regards to the Champions League squads and Isaac Hayden. Yes, we'll start with Hayden, I think, first of all, because finally, he's been back all summer. Moves have broken down to Luton, moves have broken down to Sheffield Wednesday. Some say over financial packages, others I say Newcastle United were asking for a decent wedge of money, and some other people are saying it's his injury, it's his knee, it's like spaghetti, so on and so forth. So it depends on who you believe or who you think has any sort of credence or inside knowledge. But top and bottom of it, Isaac Hayden has gone to see his homies in Bruges. Big up. He's gone off to pastures new, and yeah, fair play to the lad. Going abroad, trying different culture, trying a different way of things. Perhaps it may help him, to be honest, because 9 games in 21 months, he's really had some bad luck with injuries. I really thought that the loan move to Norwich last season would have really helped the lad, to be honest. I thought they would have got promoted and that deal would have been made permanent, and that would have been that, but it wasn't. He's gone to Belgium. He's gone to Standard Liège, and it is just a straightforward loan deal. There's no clauses in, there's no if he plays so many games it becomes permanent. It's just a straightforward loan deal for the season, and he will return to St James's Park next season, hopefully after playing a lot of football and impressing a lot of people, so he can get a permanent move sorted out next summer, because it's not great for players and families and stuff like that, just going from season to season to season without really knowing where they'll be applying the trade and everything. So hopefully for him, touch wood, he has a good season, that he stays healthy, fit and available most of the time, and he either joins them permanently or somebody else back in the UK decides to take a punt on him. And to be fair, he's a good player. I am surprised that nobody would have stumped the cash up, would have made the deal happen. I thought it made a lot of sense for him to go to somewhere like Luton, but it hasn't happened. I mean, their manager talked about the fact they couldn't do a deal. They couldn't do a deal and sort of deal out with the player. I think with Ashworth in charge, I think, we're no longer sort of mugs. I think we will have been asking for some sort of decent percentage of his wages covered, and perhaps that's been prohibitive to a deal, that could have been made down there. I don't know. That's speculation on my part, but what isn't speculation is the fact that he has gone. It is for this, the entirety of the season, and I think I would speak for most fans with saying fingers crossed for him that he stays fit, he stays healthy, and yeah, he plays plenty of minutes for Standard Liège. So yeah, one bit of extra transfer news after the transfer window's finished, but obviously it hasn't finished in other countries, across Europe and stuff. So that explains that one. We put the window out. It is absolutely boiling today, isn't it? Fuck me, it's supposed to be autumn. It pissed down all fucking summer, and now it's absolutely boiling that we get to the autumn. Other news comes from the Champions League. Yes, Champions League. We play 2 weeks today in the San Siro, and we'll still never see a Mackem. We'll never see a Mackem, I tell you what. But yeah, first game in 2 weeks' time. Still nothing about tickets. I'm a little bit surprised about that. I put a post up on the socials about it earlier on, but nothing regarding ticket allocation, how we go about getting tickets. Nah, nothing at all. But the news from the club today about the Champions League was about the squad, the players who will actually be playing there, and who will be given the chance to create history, against AC Milan. We've had to submit 23 players, not the normal 25, because of the issue around home trained players that we've got. So we've had to leave 2 spaces in the squad. We've named 23 players, and as a result of that, we've had to leave a few players, 4 players in fact, out of the squad altogether. Those players are the 4th choice keeper, Mark Gillespie. That's probably to have been, expected when you've got 3 top good goalkeepers, in the squad. So that's maybe not too much of a surprise. Emil Kraft, you can argue that probably isn't a surprise given the fact he hasn't kicked a ball in anger for 12 months. a bad injury, and it's going to take him months to be able to get back up to speed. He's had no football, no games. You know, you're talking about the physicality and the fitness side of Eddie Howe's approach. It's going to take him a few months to get back up to speed, by which time the group stages could well be over. So that makes sense. That's your second player. The other two players are probably a little bit more surprising. Javier Manquillo, now he was expected to leave the club, wasn't he, over the transfer window. Quite a few Spanish sides were after him, but again, Newcastle United, if we were going to do the deal, weren't going to go and do the deal on the cheap. You had to pay the rate, pay his wages, pay something. I'm sure they would have given him probably a free transfer, but you know, you're not going to have your cake and eat it, get a loan deal, and we have to cover so much of his wages. That wasn't going to happen. So he's been kept behind. He will be available for Premier League and domestic cup competitions, but he won't be in the Champions League, Javier Manquillo. So that's unfortunate, because every time he's been, you know, every time he's played, he's been decent, hasn't he? He offers you versatility on the right or the left-hand side. But I don't see him as part of the long-term furniture at St James's Park. I don't, and I think sooner rather than later he's going to be moved on. But you know, needs most. We've only got 23 places to be able to name players, and Javier Manquillo hasn't made the cut, if you will. And the other one, which was probably a little bit more of a difficult one for Eddie Howe to stomach and to swallow and probably to decide upon, was also Matt Ritchie. Now, we all know he's looking towards the future with coaching and all that sort of thing. However, dependable, a great servant for Newcastle United, but he isn't going to be in the Champions League squad. And you know, he's helped us get there. He's been here through the dark times. It would have been nice to have seen him involved in the good times, the better times. But you know, I can understand it from Eddie Howe's point. When you look at the squad, who else are you going to leave out? You know, you've got to keep in certain players for the home trained contingent. It's a difficult process, a difficult balancing act, and Matt Ritchie, I'm sure he will approach it, you know, perfectly fine, in the right way, the right frame of mind. He won't let his head drop. He'll continue to give 110% every time he's called upon, but yeah, he will not be playing in Europe this season, so it's a little bit gutting for the lad, isn't it? Let's face it. But he will do. I know he will do everything in his power to help Newcastle United be successful. So it's a difficult one, but I think it's the right call. I really do. I think the likes of him and Dummett and everybody else who had them extra little extensions added on were maybe rather fortunate to have got those deals. And I think if there'd been more money available in the pot, if FFP hadn't been a thing, then these could have been victims of a more successful Newcastle United coming along, a more ambitious Newcastle United coming along, you know. So it's not great. It's not great. Ideally, you would have had him in the squad, but we can't. So it is what it is. I'll put the squad up on the screen to let you have a look at. You will notice there's no Lewis Miley, there's no Elliot Anderson, but no need to panic. They are on the B list. That's any of the younger players under a certain age. You can name 24 hours before the before the squads have to be submitted. You can add them in. So we've got a massive pool of players to be able to call upon for extra players, for the younger players, to give them the experience. Elliot Anderson, he'll be on the bench. He'll start the odd game, be on the bench. So I have no problems with that one. And Lewis Miley, again, he will get the experience, no doubt about it, because he is Newcastle United's future. He's one of them players who will be around for the long term, as far as I'm concerned. So he's going to get minutes in the Champions League. He's going to get experiences in the Champions League. He's going to travel with the squad. Again, I have no doubt about that. But again, we're trying to balance up and getting the maximum amount of players available. Some players are just in the B list, some are on the A list. It means absolutely fuck all. They can still play, they're still part of the team, they'll still get minutes. So absolutely nothing at all to worry about on that one. So I can't wait. I cannot fucking wait for these Champions League games coming around. Some people have been saying, but we're going to get smashed, we're going to get this, we're going to get that. When it comes round to it, I don't think that we will. I think there will be a reaction. I think there will be a response. I think Eddie Howe will be working morning, night, well, every hour of every day, to be able to sort out the issues, to get that balance, to get a working way around this double pivot. You know, whatever it may be, at the end of the day, we will get round it. We will come back stronger, and the fixture list will get easier. There's no doubt about it. And we will start picking up wins and getting points and scoring goals and keeping clean sheets. It's not blind faith, it's not blind loyalty. You look at what happened last season, we're still only a point worse off, you know, with regards to the results from last season. Yes, it hasn't been good enough. Yes, we would have expected slightly more from this season, but it isn't exactly disaster stations. It isn't red alert. It isn't all hands abandon ship. It's none of that. It's not getting lifeboats ready. We're not cut adrift. We haven't lost against Burnley, Luton and Sheffield United. You know what I mean? With the greatest of respect. It has been against very good teams, 2 of which away from home. So there's plenty of time to turn things around. There's plenty of opportunity to get points on the board. And there's plenty of time to move up the Premier League table. I still think when it comes to it at the end of the season, we will be up there or thereabouts fighting for some sort of European football. And I think that'll be an absolutely brilliant achievement from a club who are literally balls deep in relegation trouble season after season for far too many years under Mike Ashley. So no reason to panic. Everything is okay and rosy in the garden. I can't wait for the Brentford game. That's been moved forward a day earlier because of our Champions League involvement. That's pissed off some Brentford fans, which again I totally get. I understand that. I appreciate that. We have been there more times. More times than enough, haven't we? You know, when people have booked up like to have holidays away up Newcastle for the weekend and travel and accommodation and stuff like that, it's a bit of a shit trick to change the fixture so soon to when the fixture's going to be taking place. But that's the Premier League for you. That's the people who set the schedules up for you. That's the your TV companies and stuff for you all day long, isn't it? So unfortunate for those affected again, but you know, it is what it is. We couldn't play on the Sunday, then play on the Tuesday over in Milan, so something had to give, and that's what's happened, hasn't it? And that pretty much brings us up to date. It is a little bit quiet, a little bit slower on the news, whilst you know, we've got players all over the world for these international breaks and stuff, but we'll be continuing with the videos, so please do hit the like button, the subscribe button and the notification bell, all of that sort of stuff. It does help with the algorithm and it helps us to continue pushing Magpie 24/7. Really do care about, you know, the level of support that myself and Kyle have had on Magpie 24/7. 130,000 followers in total. We are trying to push the YouTube side of it, get the videos you know, doing well. We want to get over initially the 2,000 subscriber mark, which we're so close at doing. So if you are new to Magpie 24/7, click that subscribe button and then check out the rest of our social media accounts over on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Threads if that's your sort of thing as well. We're literally everywhere. News 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, morning, noon and night, all about the club that we all care about and are all passionate about. So yeah, that's all the housekeeping done. News up to date. I'm going to go and catch up, see what the missus is doing now, how much has been spent, and yeah, in the meantime, take care, keep it Toon, and I'll speak to you later.